Hello and good morning, dear students. In this lecture, we are going to study next part of our course, quantum mechanics. So this is the fourth lecture of course. In previous part, we are studying potential barrier. For the case energy is greater than height of width, that is E is greater than V0, that case we already studied. Now for the case E is less than V0. So in that case, in previous lectures we have studied equation of those coefficients A, B, C and D. If we solve all those equations, we get equation for reflection probability R as 1 by 4, okay, in bracket k1 square plus k2 square divided by k1 k2 square into sine hyperbolic square of k2a. And we know that reflection probability and transmission probability, if we add these two probabilities, we will get equation r plus t is equal to 1. So t is equal to 1 minus r. So transmission probability t is equal to 1 plus 1 by 4 into k1 square plus k2 square divided by k1 k2 square sine hyperbolic square k2a, its inverse. If you add these two terms, you will get equal to 1. So these are the equations for r and t. Next, tunneling effect. So you already studied tunneling effect in the TYBSc. Now this tunneling effect is the phenomena which is not observed in classical mechanics. Why? Because that if that particle is having energy to cross, does not have energy to cross the barrier, then classically that particle will not go beyond that barrier. But in quantum mechanics, there is always some probability to tunnel that barrier. So we can say tunneling effect is the propagation of particle through a region where the particle's energy is smaller than barrier height, that is E is less than V0. Now this is one important part. Classically this region is forbidden, but quantum mechanically wave can tunnel through the barrier, means that quantum mechanically that particle can go beyond the well. Next point is harmonic oscillator. So we are going to study harmonic oscillator for one dimensional case. First of all, the Hamiltonian of that particle, when particle is in that harmonic oscillator potential, H cap is p square by twice m. This is the kinetic energy term, and 1 half m omega square x square. So this term is the potential energy. See, square well potential is different, but here x square means the potential energy having position square dependence. Then we can solve this equation in two types. First one is analytic method. So this analytic method we already studied in TYBSc level, and second one is ladder or algebraic method. So these two methods are used to solve simple harmonic oscillator potential. So that this method, analytic method, that we already studied, this method I'm going to used over here, and second ladder or algebraic method is in your syllabus that we are going to study in the next lectures, upcoming lectures. First of all, Schrodinger equation for harmonic oscillator is minus h cross square by twice m d2 psi by dx square plus 1 half m omega square x square psi is equal to E psi. So call this as equation 1. So we can take dimensionless constant x0 as h cross divided by m omega raised to half to solve this equation. Now the solutions of this above equation 1 can be represented by special functions known as Hermite polynomial. So Hermite polynomial can be rewritten by Frobenius power series method as fx is equal to summation over n running from 0 to infinity an x raised to n. So this is the recursion relation, and this yields expression for energy eigenvalue. So energy eigenvalue for harmonic oscillator is En is equal to n plus half h cross omega, with n is known as principal quantum number having value 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So and wave function satisfies equation 1. So solution of wave function is psi n of x is equal to 1 divided by square root of root pi 2 raised to n factorial x0 e raised to minus x square by 2x0 square hn, which is Hermite polynomial of x divided by x0. Okay, so this is the normalization constant, okay, for this wave function. Now in this equation hn of y is the nth order Hermite polynomial given by this relation. Hn of y is minus 1 raised to n e raised to y square derivative with respect to n dn by dyn of e raised to minus y square term. So if we plot first three Hermite polynomials and use those in equation above equation, then 0th order Hermite polynomial is 1, first order Hermite polynomial is 2y, so this is the function of y. So h2 second order Hermite polynomial is 4y square minus 2, and third order Hermite polynomial is 8y cube minus 12y. If we use this Hermite polynomial in above equation of wave function, this is the ground state wave function for simple harmonic oscillator. This is first excited state wave function. This is second excited state wave function. So with this we finish our simple harmonic oscillator. Now next point we are going to study is postulates of quantum mechanics. So postulates are the based on experimental observations. So we cannot derive those postulates mathematically, but they are the result from experimental observations. So these are the very basic things. So basic postulates of quantum mechanics is that, okay, so there are 5 postulates. We are going to study each one by one in detail. According to classical mechanics, the state of the particle is specified at any time t by two fundamental variables, out of one is position and second one is momentum. Any other physical quantity obtained by these two analogously in quantum mechanics, that is specified by postulates. First postulate of quantum mechanics is that the state of a system. The state of any physical system in quantum mechanics is at time specific time t is represented by state vector. So this is the new representation for you. So this representation is kate, okay, this is known as kate psi of t. So this is the vector, okay, in Hilbert space. So this vector is in Hilbert space, and this state or wave function contains all the information about system, and any superposition of state vector is also a vector, and that is also used in quantum mechanics. So here Hilbert space is the space in which all the vectors in Hilbert space are square integrable. So we can take psi star, okay, so those type of functions are known as square integrable. Second postulates of quantum mechanics is observables and operators. So to every physically measurable quantity A, physically measurable means we can determine that quantity experimentally, or dynamical variable, there corresponds a linear Hermitian operator A cap, whose eigenvectors form a complete basis. Then third postulates is measurements and eigenvalues of operators. The measurement of an observable A may be represented by the action of A on the state vector kit psi of t. The only possible result of such measurement is one of the eigenvalues an. So those eigenvalues are must be real of operator A. Now result of measurement of A on state is an an, then the state of a system immediately after measurement changes to psi n. So that is represented mathematically by this last equation. So that last equation is when operator A operate on state psi n. So A operate on kate psi n is equal to an into kate psi n. So about this notation, kate notation, we are going to study in next that is module number 2 in detail. Okay, so until now remember this represents vector. Then fourth postulates of quantum mechanics is probabilistic outcome of measurement. So here there are two parts, one is discrete spectra and second one is continuous spectra. Discrete spectra, in which when measuring an observable A of a system in a state kate psi, the probability of obtaining one of the non-degenerate eigenvalue of an corresponding operator A is given by. So this is the probability of finding an. So this is mod psi n psi star square. So this is nothing but integration of psi n psi dx, okay, divided by this is we can say this is as inner product. So inner product of psi and psi, okay. So this is this is kate, so bracket notation. Now this is equal to mod a1 an square, which is the normalization constant of n state, and this factor must be 1. So this is nothing but mod an square, where psi n is eigenstate of operator A with eigenvalue an. Next one is for continuous spectra. For continuous spectra, probability density that a measurement of A yields a value between A and A plus dA on a system which is initially in the state kate psi is given by this equation. So dp by A divided by dA. So this is the probability density, and same formula is written over here. Okay, so this is only for discrete and this is for continuous. So I have written over here, so denominator is 1 of last equation, okay, because that is the normalization condition. So that is mod psi a its square. Then last postulate of quantum mechanics is time evolution of system. So time evolution of system means how that system behave with respect to time. So time evolution of state vector psi kate psi, which is function of t of a system, is governed by Schrodinger's time dependent equation. So to get about how that system behave with respect to time, we have to solve Schrodinger's time dependent equation. Schrodinger's time dependent equation is I h cross dabba by dabba t of kate psi of t is h, which is Hamiltonian of psi of t, where h is Hamiltonian operator. Now this is corresponding to total energy of the system. Now we are going to study all those postulates in detail. So first postulate is the state of a system. First of all, to describe state in quantum mechanics, a mathematical entity, we called that entity as a wave function which is belonging to Hilbert space is used. So that is represented by kate psi of t. The state vector kate psi of t represented in two ways. First one is in position space and second one is momentum space. So a wave function psi, which is function of r and t, is a position space wave function, and second wave function psi, which is function of p and t, is the momentum space wave function. Then wave function must have the property that wave function and its first order derivative, that is psi and d psi by dx, must be finite, continuous and single value everywhere. So second, next point is about that state is probability density. So we already studied this thing, probability density. So according to Max Born, probabilistic interpretation of this square of norm of wave function is psi p, which is r of t, is in mod of psi of rt its square. This represents probability density. So probability density means the quantity mod psi of rt square d cube r is the probability. So this is the dimensionless quantity. This is the probability of finding that particle in the region r and r plus dr. Next important point is superposition principle. So this is for wave function. As I already mentioned, every wave function that we used in quantum mechanics satisfies superposition principle. What is that superposition? The state of a system does not represented by single wave function, but it is superposition of two or more than two waves. So that is, in mathematical word, we can say linear combination. So we can say that like if psi1 of rt and psi2 of rt satisfy Schrodinger equation, then their linear combination psi dash, which is alpha psi1 plus beta psi2, also satisfy Schrodinger equation, where alpha and beta are complex or real numbers. In general, we can say if we have very large number of waves, okay, so that is represented by this last equation. So ket psi, this equation, ket psi is equal to summation, means we are combining all waves. Alpha I is the complex number, operate on ket psi I state. So this is mathematical representation of that equation. Okay, this is, so alpha are complex numbers. Now here the quantity P, which is mod square summation over I alpha ket psi I, is the probability for superposition. The state ket psi I are mutually orthogonal. What is mutually orthogonal? Means we cannot take inner product of psi I and psi j, so that is 0. Okay, if you take integration psi I and psi j over finite region of space, so that is equal to 0. So that is known as orthogonal property, and they also satisfy orthonormal. So orthonormal means the probability is equal to sum of individual probabilities. So this is the orthonormality. Okay, so mathematically this can be represented by this equation, where pi is mod alpha I square is the probability of finding system in the state ket psi I. Okay, so with this we stop our lecture over here. In the next lectures we will see next part of the course. Thank you.